September 29th, 2020 is a date that will live forever in the minds of anyone who is associated with the LaSalle baseball program. It was on that date LaSalle AD Brian Baptiste informed this year's team on a Zoom call that the program, along with 6 others, would be terminated at the conclusion of the 2021 season. Since then, a group of alums led by former pitcher James Santore have worked tirelessly to reinstate the program and provide stability moving forward. They've had successes and failures both in and out of the public eye. They've enlisted celebrities to help their cause, and they've seen the administration move the fences on their goals over and over. But now it's the proverbial bottom of the ninth. The Explorers are rallying. They're in first place in their division with a huge series this weekend against St. Joe's, and suddenly there is new and tangible hope of saving the program. Here to tell us about that today is the pride of South Jersey, James Santore, as we discuss how we can help save LaSalle baseball. Today's program is brought to you thanks to a kind donation from the Edward Lesky Company, general contractors. For more than 70 years, the Edward Lesky Company has been committed to doing great business in the tri-state area, projects of all sizes and shapes, and call them at 908-686-7272. That's 908-686-7272. Edward Lesky, work smart, work safe, work tomorrow. James, welcome to the very first edition of our show, our not yet named podcast show, but certainly something that given the situation at LaSalle, something we wanted to get out to everybody as soon as possible. So give us, I guess, a little bit of a background of, as we were saying before the broadcast here, September 28th, we got to know LaSalle guys a little bit, working, giving them a chance to play in the fall. And, September 28th, my biggest question about the program was, how is Frankie Ellisalt going to, make the majors in a few years? And, now September 29th, things changed drastically. So kind of fill us in real quick over those last 7 months.
Yeah. And just before I do anything, thank you so much for having me, and honored to be the first guest on the show. And your support, honestly, just from the very beginning you're the type of person that's kept us going, because it's been hard at times to be able to keep pushing along, but people like yourselves have been able to make that a little bit easier. So thank you for that. And it was an absolute whirlwind. I was sitting right where I am right now, and my roommate, Joe Ravert, walked in, knocked on my door when I was on a call for work, and said, check your phone. And that's never good. I didn't know what to expect.
No, nothing good ever happens from check your phone.
I know. And I was on mute and I was on video, and I think my entire work team, they were like, what the heck's going on? So check my phone and I see the text and saw that LaSalle baseball was getting cut along with 6 other programs. And I think the first thought that popped into my mind, on top of trying to finish the work call that I was still on, that I clearly had no ability to pay attention to anymore, was, what are we going to do? Because I think, again, it was something that I think while we were at LaSalle, just understanding the financial situation, understanding the way the program was ran, it's always a worry. Small colleges, programs have been getting cut for the last few years. Mm-hmm. And I think everybody had always hoped that it would never happen to us. But again, we saw it happen at Temple when we were there.
Yeah, and we went through it in our Sandlot League last summer with Furman, South Carolina, getting axed. We had a couple of guys, from the Furman program who very quickly, one went that ended up going to VCU, another went Logan Kellerman, who's a local, went up to Bucknell. But you see how quickly things can just change, and it's the reality right now.
Yeah, and with that, with what you just said, for us was like, we have to fight back. And I think fighting back in a sense of fighting back because we love the school and we want what made us love LaSalle to still be there and be able to use that team and use baseball to then grow LaSalle and then obviously grow the program as well. So again, Joe Ravert, roommate, he's helped so much with all of this, and Kevin McGowan, who's my roommate now, another LaSalle alum too. Us 3 really just got to working and figuring out what we can do. So we set up a town hall. I think it was for 2 days later, maybe even the day after, just to discuss ideas and strategy. And really what came out of that was we need to make people know and care about LaSalle baseball, because again, we're a Northeast school in a small school in Philly. And I don't know if our brand is national. So it's like, what can we do to make sure people know about this situation? And it was to get PR. And the first way we thought about that was to utilize Barstool, because they had just opened up a sports book in Philadelphia or Pennsylvania.
Right.
And fortunately, somehow we were able to get to Portnoy and we did a pizza review. Now, the pizza review was more about raising awareness than it was raising funds, I'd say, in the sense that it was the perfect opportunity to reach an audience of people that love sports and, again, would be a rabid fan of what we were trying to do. And it was amazing. I mean, I think the biggest thing I took away from that, especially at that time, was that no matter what happens, those players got the experience of a lifetime to say they were on a Barstool pizza review and got the program highlighted. So it was just one of
Yeah.
those things at the time. It was like, again, everything was so tough, but it was like, this is pretty cool. And they're going to remember it forever. So at the very worst, that's what it gave us. But we also were able to get 2.5 million views off of the
Listen,
video.
yeah, LaSalle baseball was the most viral and most most publicity, no doubt, in the history of the program right there for those first 2 weeks.
Yeah, and it was really cool. Again, all the players were so pumped up. Coach Miller was pumped up. The parents were pumped up. And then the tough thing from there was trying to actually bring it back. And I think that's something that has been an evolving process and has been the most difficult process, is not only trying to understand what we need to do and what we can do, but also trying to understand like how to cater to each audience we were working with, and that being the players, the parents, the alumni base, the school. There's so many, and the public in general. Like, there's so many different people that want to know what's going on and wanted to be a part of this, but not every piece of the process was for public consumption.
Right.
And for me, it's really hard because I wanted to make sure that I can give as many updates as possible while also making sure that we were putting ourselves in the best situation to make this happen. And it was tough sometimes because, again, I think the biggest thing for me has been the parents, because I can't even imagine what they're going through when they had their kids make this decision. So excited to be part of the LaSalle family, then they get it taken away. Now it's been pandemic. Where are they going to go to school next? How are we going to figure out the financial situation? So all these questions are going through their head, and they still are going through their head. So it's been tough, again, to kind of have to give some bad updates, some good updates that turn into bad updates. It's been a whirlwind. But just everybody that supported us has been there from the start, and even people that have left LaSalle, they're still supporting us. And everybody makes the decisions, and we never fault anybody for making the decision that feels best for themselves. And but the community we built and the baseball community in general that supported us has been unbelievable.
Yeah, I mean, I think to me it says a lot about the school, or at least what, in my mind, what the school is, which is the people, that so many of them have waited so long with hopes that something will happen out of all this. What we'll talk about soon, way to hopefully magically save all this. And maybe not magic. There's a lot of hard work involved to save all this, but anything that can allow them to stay. Nobody really wants to leave, and I think that's been, Coach Miller's team is first place in the A10 North. As I said, when this weekend, huge series, might not be a stretch to say it's the biggest regular season college baseball series in Philadelphia, in the Big Five, in decades. And
It's amazing to hear you say that too, because it is so cool from the perspective of an alumni and somebody that I love all my St. Joe's people out there, but we hated St. Joe's playing against them because they're our rival. For it to come down to this, it is a perfect story. It honestly is. Everything kind of just lined up to get to this point. And it is truly the perfect storybook ending, is to be playing St. Joe's.
And even the hatred of St. Joe's is still, these are still two. If you look at the four teams in the division, the underdog Philly schools, Rhode Island is gotten the reputation of being a really strong program, and Fordham's got one of the top pitchers in the country, every weekend going for him. So St. Joe's in some ways mirrors LaSalle in that, both to be at the top of the conference is not a frequent occurrence, we'll say nicely.
Of course.
But just really cool to have these things this year, and you really hope that some magic happens there.
Yeah, and again, as much as I hate St. Joe's, and I say hate on the field,
right,
I love to see them having success too. It's awesome for everybody here, and I have so many friends that played at St. Joe's, and again, it's just Philadelphia baseball is special, and I think that's one of the things we've been saying from the start is like, this is an opportunity for LaSalle to become a powerhouse in Philadelphia and the Northeast in general. I mean, there's not that many opportunities, and I told you before the show, myself, I was a late bloomer. I didn't have many college opportunities, especially at the Division I level. And LaSalle was my spot because it was a great academic experience. And I was able to go, and at least I was a recruited walk-on. So I had a chance to live out my dream. I didn't even know I was going to be able to make the team. And I worked as hard as I possibly could to do that. But once we got the opportunity, and I got the opportunity because local, and again, I found out about LaSalle because I was looking for something just like it, a small school to focus highly on academics, but also have the chance to play Division I baseball. And again, there's not many schools in this area for that. So really, it's an opportunity for so many kids in this area who are looking to play at the next level that, again, Temple doesn't have a team anymore. Again, if things stay the same right now, LaSalle won't have a team anymore. So you're really limited on your options. And I think that's
Drexel lost theirs 20 years ago.
yeah. So it's a real shame for there. I mean, and you know better than anybody else, the talent in this area is unbelievable. It really is. And I think we've continued to see that on a national level, and we're seeing it on a professional level as well. So there's really, really some opportunity to make what we're seeing on the field this year and take that to another level.
Yeah. Yeah. Coach Miller, 3 straight years, top 100 recruiting classes.
Yep.
This was going to be the 4th until it kind of, obviously
top 40. It was a top 40 recruiting class for next year. So it's like we proved that we can bring people to LaSalle with nothing, honestly. Again, it's a bare bones program in the best way, in the sense that everybody's there to play, to go to school, obviously, but from a baseball sense, you're there to play baseball. You don't have any crazy facilities or technology. You have a great turf field in the middle of campus.
This isn't Vanderbilt. This isn't South Carolina when it comes to facilities.
And I think that's a good thing, though. And I think one thing we've always talked about, even before all this happened, was that we really have a family of LaSalle, and everybody that goes there and plays 4 years, they're there because the personalities are all the same. And the reasons for being there are the same, is that we want to work hard, we want to play baseball, we want to have fun with our friends. And that's literally it. And I think a lot of schools, it's not like that, where kids transfer a lot. Kids are not like, I mean, I can't tell you how close all of us are. We have a wedding next weekend for my roommate in college. All of us are LaSalle guys. And
I think in a way you can't, not necessarily with words, but certainly with actions, you can certainly give examples of how close everyone was. I mean, just, we kind of finished the beginning, kind of fall stage of this, hearing this traumatic news, and, then the viral response and the 2.5 million views. Were you overwhelmed in a way just by how the alumni, overwhelmed with positive and hope? And I know that there was a lot of hope at that point, and, just the overwhelming feeling of so many people reaching out and LaSalle baseball meaning a lot to them.
Yeah, I think overwhelming is the best way to put it. And I think this entire process has been overwhelming. And I think especially from the video, it was overwhelming in the sense of what's next, and handling the school's response to it, and handling everything that was associated with the video and the publicity. So overwhelming, definitely. And I think, again, everybody was kind of at a standstill of what's next. And I think that's when things got tough, because that happened so quickly, where we get this word out there, we're doing it on a national scale.
Sure.
But what happens next? And I think, honestly, it happened so quick, we weren't really sure. We knew we had to raise money. We knew we had to be creative, but we had to really strategize about what was next after that pizza review.
All right, so you hit that beginning overwhelming positive, kind of the middle, and we'll say middle being like December to April, was just kind of
tough winter, man. Tough winter.
Right?
Yeah, and really, what changed things again is the team. Like, they are playing so well this year that their success on the field and the way they've approached everything. And again, such credit to Coach Miller for the way he's been able to corral these guys and make sure that they're channeling all this negative things going on and uncertainty into being the best freaking team in LaSalle history.
Yeah.
I mean, and that is powerful, because it's tough for the narrative to always be like, we need to save the team, we need to do this, it's all about raising money. Because I think for right now, we're talking about the success.
We need to save this 12-42 team, right?
It's not a great story. Exactly.
Yeah.
So the way they've been playing has made people realize that, hey, this isn't just a bunch of scrubs in North Philly. This is a legitimate contender that is playing in the worst of circumstances.
You see, you go through the not even the city leaders, the national leaders, and you see Jack Cucinato is among the stolen base leaders, and Ryan Guckin is extra base hit. And, you've seen Tatum Levins the last couple of years. You know what kind of player he is, and Elijah Dickerson, and
it's so much. I mean, they really are just so talented, and those are the types of players that LaSalle is going to have now and in the future.
Yeah.
That's where it's the opportunity. Again, they would have destroyed
Yeah.
the teams that I was on, destroyed them. That's cool.
I say a freshman, but Frankie Ellisalt is a major leaguer waiting to happen. I said the September 28th. My question was, the heck is he doing in the Northeast in Philadelphia playing college baseball? He's from Florida.
Yep.
He has Power 5 stuff. That's not the kind of kid who comes to LaSalle. That's a 5-star basketball player playing on the basketball team. It doesn't happen, and it wouldn't happen without baseball.
And Coach Miller, again, unbelievable job recruiting. And I think, again, a guy
Absolutely.
like Frank Ellisalt, if you're looking at any Northeast baseball program or any smaller school baseball program, they have self-sustaining success by the players that end up going to the professional level and having success there.
Yeah.
So Frank and Tatum and all these other guys that have the chance to play at that next level, they're helping build the future of LaSalle from a brand awareness, from a player perspective. And also the hope is once they reach that level and continue to have success, that's great for the program too. So really, like,
great for the school.
Exactly.
You either get the value of athletics in that perspective at a small school. There's a small school out in Washington State that, not baseball but basketball, kind of rescued the. Nobody knew what Gonzaga was up until 1990. Basketball made that difference, and now their baseball team's one of the top teams in the country.
And that's what I think is the opportunity. Like, I love LaSalle basketball. I love every sport at LaSalle. Like, I'm a diehard LaSalle guy. So I think that there doesn't have to be
that is the most LaSalle stuff I've ever seen in any one place right there.
It really is. Yeah. I made sure I put it all out there, but there's more on that side too. But it's true though. Like, I think there's an opportunity that if we're able to do our job of bringing this back, continuing to grow the program, that's going to help basketball. That's going to help the other sports and help LaSalle as a whole. And a big thing for me, and I'm lucky that I work in sports. I work at 76 Capital, and we focus on innovation in sports using technology. So with that, it's made me be able to think creatively about how we can approach this. So again, my whole messaging from the beginning has been, it's not just about baseball. We want to help the school through baseball. So help us bring this program back. Let me and people that I work with help innovate through different curriculum that we can bring into the school to help increase enrollment. Let us help bring in different technology to help all the athletic department as NIL comes to play next year. There's so many opportunities that we can be forward thinking about if we're given the opportunity, aside from just a straight up financial transaction. So that's really where we're trying to pair this money that's coming in, because I understand the situation the school is in financially, and that's okay. And I think everybody understands that because times are tough. So we want to make sure we can help in that respect, but also help continue to grow in so many different aspects and really change LaSalle through this time right now.
Yeah, to kind of mangle the old metaphor, you got to, you might have to provide the fish dinner right now. But your goal or your thought is, let's teach them how to fish too, the players, and let's make this program self-sustaining so that we don't, hey, we give $1.5 million and it lasts for 3 or 4 years. I don't want to be doing the same thing in 4 years. I don't want to have to do this again.
But yeah, that's exactly right. Self-sustaining is the perfect way to put it, in the sense that we want to make sure that it's growth going forward. We don't want to ever worry about this type of situation. We want to worry about, man, we just built this brand new facility. We need to make sure we need to figure out which people we want for the naming rights. We want to figure out what type of awesome technology we want to put in that indoor facility. Like, we want to think about those types of things that are really going to help take this to the next level, and not the little nuances that come with trying to raise capital just to make sure we can stay alive. And I think there's so many opportunities, and we started the LaSalle Legends Foundation to really be able to operate the program in that way of being creative, of utilizing all the assets we have at hand and being able to really take care of that money in the right way, but also be able to hold charitable functions and really give back to the community at the same time. So we created, again, we have the vehicle for the self-sufficient arm of the program. We just need the capital to start us off and get us back. And from there, we'll be able to take it and run with it. So everything's in place to go from there.
Yeah, so let's focus now, because we got through the excitement of September, we got through the of the winter, and some breaking news in this last week or so. Focus us on where we are right now. We've got the biggest month in LaSalle baseball in 30 plus years coming up. And what can we do? Where are we right now? What do we need to do, and how do we get it done?
Sure. So as of today, we're over $600,000 raised, which has been awesome. Again, just to be able to raise that shows how much people really care about this program. But I guess I'll go back. We had a presentation in front of the athletic board a few weeks back, and that was an opportunity to really hopefully get the chance to go speak in front of the full board and present our case for reinstatement. So unfortunately, we were turned down at that time, which was very upsetting just because I thought we had brought a decent amount to the table, brought a unique package of, again, money and other things as well. And, it sucked. It sucked. And I think for me, it was like, this isn't it. Again, you can't stop trying to do what you think is right. And I think that's what all of us that are working on this have agreed on, is that, again, we were turned down, but that was just that was a one-time thing. Like, we were still going to continue to raise money, continue to be creative. And that's what we've done. So with that, we've been trying to raise awareness of, again, where we were at after that time. And through kind of raising awareness of where we were at and getting an opportunity turned down, and with the team's continued success, we were told by internal contacts that if we raise $1 million, we would at least get, hopefully, the chance to represent in front of the entire board, which would give us an opportunity. And again, I'm pretty positive that, given the story we have, given, again, $1 million, given other things we can bring to the table, we could be convincing enough to give them our chance. And then $2 million would really give us as close of a certainty as we can possibly get. And again, nothing's guaranteed. And, the school probably wouldn't say anything about it publicly, but through the discussions we've had, we're pretty confident that these are the numbers we need to target. And that's everything we're doing.
Yeah, and those are realistic numbers when you look at a Bowling Green, which went through a similar, thought the program was going to get cut, and really resolved theirs with, I think it was right in between the two, $1.5 million.
Yeah.
So I mean, that certainly seems like a legitimate ballpark to to be considered, and realistically. So what are we, how are we taking donations right now? What can we do here? And I'm going to put another slide up here to really save LaSalle baseball here. And how are we getting the word out?
Yeah, so social media is our best friend here. Every day we're trying to make sure we post as much as possible. And again, it takes one person to see this, and they may be able to want to help us. So I think it's just sharing as many times as you can on social media. And on Twitter, it's my handle at James Santore. We're putting everything out on. On Instagram, it's at SAVE LASALLE BASEBALL. And again, just the more people that see this, the better chance we have. And we're soliciting donations, or I should say pledges. All pledges are contingent upon the program being reinstated. So there's no money changing hands until that happens.
Yes, it's not a money laundering. This is you're doing it the right way.
Yeah, there's no ill intent at all. As you can tell by like my college dorm looking room right now, I'm really not taking your money for any negative reasons. But again, we're just trying to raise as much as we can to bring to the board and give us ourselves our best chance. But the unique way we're approaching this is that we have the traditional pledges, which is, again, if you care about this cause, you want to donate, pledge, please do. But also from the corporate sponsorship opportunity.
Yeah.
And like, I know you've been to the Hank before. You know how big the fence is. There's a lot of opportunity
There's a lot of opportunity for sponsorship.
Yes, there is.
It's such an important way for a couple of reasons to get, that involvement and that level of commitment from the community, but also that's just a source of revenue that, it is a tough time for schools. I think that programs should be some level of partnership, and to get that sort of buy-in from the community. But that also, again, it's not a short-term commitment at that point. There's long-term stability, right? I mean,
and again,
when Coach Miller, let's say, for the sake of everybody being happy, that they reinstate the program, right? If there's no long-term commitment to stability, the first thing other coaches are going to be like is, why LaSalle? They just canceled the program, right? Yep. So I mean, this, to get that commitment from the community, to get that long-term, there's so many opportunities with what you guys are doing.
Yeah, and I think the big thing for me, and again, I've learned so much from my job, and I just want to thank Wayne Kimmel and Chad Center and the rest of the team at 76 Capital for making me think like this and teaching me everything. But there needs to be a return on investment for whoever wants to get involved. Mm-hmm. So for people and companies that want to get involved, let's talk, because I want to work for you in the same way you'll help us right now. So if you want to put your name on our fence, put your name on our fence, and I will make sure that everybody knows that you are doing that. And I will make sure that you get such great PR out of that, that it is well worth X amount of dollars you're putting into it. And that's replicable across the entire outfield wall, the scoreboard, the dugouts, hopefully an indoor facility in the future. We want to build this thing out with
It's
companies. We want to be LaSalle. Like I was a business student, I was a finance student. 23 of the kids on the team right now are business students. We understand this stuff. We want to integrate business and be as creative as possible. And I think that's a huge opportunity for LaSalle, especially as I mentioned before, name, image, likeness is going to go into effect next year, most likely. And players are going to be able to profit off their own name, image, and likeness. I mean, this can be the step into the direction and give companies and this school an opportunity to understand and start thinking ahead, which helps with recruiting, it helps with brand awareness and publicity. So let's do this. Let's be creative and let's put your name, your company on the ball, and let's blast it out there and make sure the world knows about it.
I think, and I know that we're approaching it in a similar way with the Generals LLC, the two teams, and what we plan to do beyond this year is we're not looking for sponsors back in the 1970s, 1980s definition of sponsors. Give me $200, I'll give you a team picture, and we'll print your name in on the uniforms.
Stuff you see at pizza shops.
Yeah, we're looking for partners.
Yep.
And it sounds like that's what you want, partners that are invested in LaSalle baseball, that will make LaSalle baseball grow. And honestly, at this point, continue to grow, because, you know, as you see, where the program is right now, it hasn't been here in at least a generation.
Yep.
And it's, you know, it's got a chance to kind of go, you know, like this,
Yeah.
you know, there's my charts and graphs right here. That's about as much as I can do. But
yeah. And like you said too, like, it's more than baseball. It really is. And I think that's for the partners that want to work with us. I hope that they would realize that too, because we want to use baseball as the beacon of hope for the community and for honestly just a school and baseball in general. Like, this is more than just at least LaSalle baseball. This is a way to prove to people that instead of cutting programs, instead of getting rid of, you know, programs like this that have 40 kids that want to be here, that they can be a part of something that's changing the way people are thinking about business, colleges, everything in general. And I think, again, the community aspect, we have so many plans for ways to integrate LaSalle baseball into the local community in Philly and elsewhere, and really make sure that we're doing our part to like share all the great learnings we've had and all the great experience we've had with those who may not ever have that chance. So I think that's, again, where if you're a company and you're looking to do some awesome charitable work, think about doing it with us, because we want to put that money to work and it helps more than one cause.
James, email right on the screen here. Again, that's the best way to get you, right? I mean, directly.
Yeah. And same thing with Twitter, Instagram, message us. We'll get back to you. Again, if you just search my name, if you can't find it, I'm sure you'll find a way to contact me in some way. But yeah, we'll make sure we get back to you, and anything helps. Again, it doesn't need to be monetary. Spreading the word, telling your friends about it, whatever it is, the more people that know about hashtag Save LaSalle Base, the better chance we have. And it's been, I do want to take the chance again to thank every single person, and especially people like yourselves that have just been massive supporters that have seen this and have said, you know what, this is a good cause. Because again, a lot of these people that have been helping us have no affiliation with LaSalle baseball, and they just see a group of kids that deserves this opportunity, especially because they've held up their end of the bargain to the fullest extent. And it's, I just keep saying, I think it's the best thing for the team that they've seen this public support. And I really hope it keeps pushing them and they can continue to make noise, because as an alumni, it is so much fun to watch. And I wish I was doing it with a little bit more stress-free lifestyle, but it is, I'm so proud of them. And it's really like the coolest thing ever to have them do this on a year like this. So I'm super proud.
Next time we have you on is about 4 weeks, when it's getting ready for our NCAA tournament watch party, right?
Watch party. I'm going to be there. I'll sneak in if I have to.
Excellent. Let's hope. It's exciting times at the Hank. This weekend, 4 against St. Joe's, 4 against Fordham the following weekend. Get to watch a pro prospect for LaSalle take its best licks against him, Matt Polsky, and then 4 more against St. Joe's. Like I said, this is exciting times for the program on the field, and let's you know, what you're doing is hopefully going to make it exciting times off too.
Yeah, and again, I think they're going to be able to continue this run, and I'm just so excited to continue to watch it, because again, through all the stress, through everything going on, being able to watch them have success, it always puts it into perspective and makes it worth it, because again, that's what we're working so hard for. And, this is none of our full-time jobs of the people that are working on this project. And again, it can be super time consuming and extremely stressful, but again, watching their success, literally, like, it makes all of it go away. So again, yesterday I was able to go to the field and catch up with some of my buddies there. And again, it just makes everything feel good. So I'm excited to hopefully get to watch them this weekend in person and support the guys. And I love them all. So go Explorers, and they're going to hopefully destroy the Hawks this weekend.
James, thank you. The pride of South Jersey, as I said, appreciate you taking some time here to be with us on our first show. Look forward to having you back again soon. Maybe I'll have the graphics going by that point. But
you did a great job, man. It was awesome.
Yeah, 2016 LaSalle alum James Santore. Thank you for watching the show today, brought to you again by Edward Lesky Company, and go Explorers.
Thank you so much again. You're the man.